The world watched in astonishment as the United States, under the leadership of President Donald Trump, embarked on an aggressive trade war. This was not a surgical strike on a specific industry or country. It was a full frontal assault on long-standing allies and rivals alike. Tariffs, essentially taxes on imported goods, were slapped on everything from steel and aluminum to solar panels and washing machines. Canada, Mexico, and the European Union, traditional trading partners of the U.S., found themselves in the crosshairs. These tariffs, Trump argued, were necessary to protect American jobs and industries from unfair competition. However, the economic fallout of these protectionist policies would soon reverberate across the globe. The Trump administration seemed to operate under the assumption that trade wars were easy to win. This belief, however, was based on a fundamental misunderstanding of how tariffs work and the intricate web of global trade relations. The consequences of this miscalculation would be far-reaching, impacting not just the U.S. economy, but also the balance of power on the world stage. The trade war initiated by the Trump administration was unprecedented in its scope and intensity. It marked a significant departure from the free trade principles that had guided the global economy for decades. The ramifications of this policy shift are still being felt today, serving as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of the global economy and the potential for protectionism to backfire. One of the most misleading aspects of Trump's trade war was the portrayal of tariffs. The administration repeatedly claimed that these tariffs were being paid by foreign countries, a claim that was simply untrue. In reality, tariffs are paid by American companies that import goods from these countries. These increased costs are then passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices. Essentially, tariffs act as a hidden tax on American businesses and consumers. This directly contradicted Trump's campaign promises of lower taxes and a stronger economy. The impact of these tariffs was felt across a wide range of industries. Manufacturers faced higher costs for raw materials, making their products less competitive. Retailers saw prices rise on everyday goods, squeezing household budgets. The agricultural sector, heavily reliant on exports, was hit particularly hard as retaliatory tariffs from other countries closed off important markets. The trade war's impact on consumer prices undermined the Trump administration's claims of economic prosperity. The tariffs, rather than protecting American jobs, ultimately hurt American consumers and businesses. This unintended consequence highlighted the complex nature of trade and the importance of carefully considering the potential ramifications of protectionist policies. The case of tungsten provides a stark illustration of how China, often a target of Trump's tariffs, strategically retaliated against the U.S. trade policies. Tungsten, a metal known for its exceptional hardness and heat resistance, is a critical component in various industrial applications, including the manufacturing of weapons systems. China, controlling a staggering 80% of global tungsten production, recognized its strategic leverage in this trade war. In a calculated move, China halted tungsten exports to the U.S., exposing a critical vulnerability in the American manufacturing sector. The U.S., having ceased commercial tungsten mining in 2015, found itself reliant on a hostile nation for this essential resource. This situation highlighted the folly of Trump's trade war. Instead of securing American industries, the tariffs had inadvertently made the U.S. more vulnerable by antagonizing a key supplier of a critical mineral. China's strategic retaliation demonstrated the potential for trade wars to disrupt global supply chains and expose national security weaknesses. The tungsten episode served as a wake-up call, revealing the fragility of global supply chains and the risks associated with relying on potentially hostile nations for critical resources. It underscored the need for diversification of supply sources and a more measured approach to trade relations. At the heart of Trump's trade war lay a fundamental misunderstanding of how tariffs work. His belief that foreign countries bore the brunt of the tariffs demonstrated a lack of grasp on basic economic principles. This misconception had far-reaching consequences, emboldening China to take a more assertive stance on the global stage. China, with its deep understanding of international trade and its long-term strategic vision, recognized the opportunity presented by Trump's miscalculation. Instead of caving to U.S. pressure, China strategically retaliated, targeting American industries and forging stronger ties with other nations. Trump's misunderstanding of tariffs undermined the U.S. position in the global trade order. It allowed China to portray itself as a more responsible and reliable trading partner, further solidifying its influence in developing countries. The trade war, instead of achieving its stated goals, inadvertently strengthened China's hand. The trade war, fueled by a flawed understanding of tariffs, had unintended consequences that rippled across the globe. It eroded America's credibility as a global leader in trade and provided an opening for China to expand its influence. This miscalculation underscored the importance of informed leadership and a nuanced understanding of international economics. China's approach to tariffs has been nothing short of a strategic masterclass. By carefully selecting which goods to target, they have managed to minimize the impact on their own economy while maximizing pressure on their trading partners. It's a delicate balancing act, one that requires deep understanding of both domestic and international markets. As the global trade landscape shifts, the future of the US dollar comes into question. With rising debts and increasing competition from other currencies, the dollar's dominance is no longer a given. This uncertainty has far-reaching implications for international trade and economic stability. Amidst the trade tensions, there lies a glimmer of opportunity in the American tungsten industry. With the right investments and strategic partnerships, the U.S. could revitalize this critical sector. It's a chance to reduce dependency on foreign sources and strengthen domestic production. The global trade landscape is being reshaped before our eyes. Tariffs, strategic alliances, and economic policies are all in flux. As nations adapt to these changes, the balance of power in international trade will continue to evolve, presenting both challenges and opportunities for the future.